Welcome in, everybody. We are going to be ranking the NFL quarterbacks coming into the season. I just wanted to get it going before anything really starts, and I just want to take my shot and call it before the season starts. So we're gonna be doing quarterbacks today, and it's more like a projection of where I think they'll end up in the year. But with no further ado, let's get straight into it. Thank you to whoever made this tier list. Not too sure where we can find the credits on this. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. We have S, A, B, C, D, F, right? And so first guy up, we have Mr. Bryce Young, Mr. First overall pick. I do think Bryce Young is going to have a bit of a struggle coming into the league. I don't believe the Panthers' offense is the offensive weapons nor the offensive line can really support a guy like Bryce Young at this very moment. I predict him having kind of a hard rookie year, more like a Fields type rookie year than like a success story. So I think for now I'll put him in D. I do believe he's very talented, but he shows a lot of poise this preseason, way to stand in the pocket and take a hit, but I would like him to have like a true number one wideout, and I guess we'll see as the season unfolds if anybody comes out, whether it be Adam Thielen, DJ Shark, Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo, and I hope the offensive line plays a lot better than they've been playing, because they were not blocking for a bro. Going into CJ Stroud next, I'm going to put him on the same tier as Bryce Young. I believe they're going to have tough seasons. Texans have done, I believe, everything in their power and capable being of building a proper team around him, but there's still going to be heartaches, and I don't believe the offensive line can still protect him. I'm not too sure. I like his weapons a little more than I like Bryce Young's. He's got guys like Nico Collins, John Mechie, Tank Dell had a stout rookie year, and then Robert Woods. Offensive line wise, you got Laramie Tunsil. I believe they drafted a guard, maybe the last draft. So they're building, they're on their way up, but I do believe they're going to be aching pains. I do like Stroud though. Not the best athlete, but we'll see if his accuracy can push him and propel him up into the C spot. But for now, I'm just gonna have them down at a D. Jordan Love, I believe he could have a stout, coming out party. He's got a rocket arm. He's not any slouch athletically. If he can make the proper reads and find his touch a little more, get a little bit more accurate, I believe he could have a very stellar season this year. I'm gonna put him at a mid-level C. He's got some weapons out there. He's got Romeo Doubs. He's got Jaden Reed. He has got Christian Watson, who's primed for a breakout. The offensive line is good. He's got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the backfield, so look forward to him having a great year. I don't think I'm a casual in any sense of the word, but I don't know who that is. So, is that Kyle Trask? I have no idea. Daniel Jones, he's a solid quarterback. Darren Waller coming in, Jalen Hyatt coming in. He's got solid protection. Saquon Barkley got franchise tagged, so look forward to them having a pretty good offense this year. And Daniel Jones is a pretty prominent rusher, so hopefully they can get stuff going and start moving the ball a lot more now that Saquon Barkley isn't the focal point of the offense. Well, he is the focal point, but he's not just the main thing they can key in on. Hopefully Daniel Jones can show why he got his contract, and he can prove to everybody why he deserves to be the Giants' starting quarterback. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Jones, but I believe he's serviceable. I'm just going to put him at a C with Jordan Love and move on. Baker Mayfield, I'm going to put him at a D. He has good weapons. He has good protections. I'm not too big on the Baker Mayfield train. I would like him to succeed. Rooting for Baker Mayfield. I would love for him to come out and prove me wrong, but I just have to see it with my eyes. Ever since his rookie year, it's always just been a downslope, so let's hope he can kind of kick it back into gear and start shaping up. I think he's fine with these rookies on this level. Josh Allen, man. I'm also gonna be doing my top 10 in this video, so I'm gonna be ranking the top 10 that I have up here. But we're gonna go as we go. Josh Allen, cannon arm. Just gotta cut out the turnovers. The Bills are primed for another playoff year. I see a world where they don't win the AFC East, but with Josh Allen at the helm, anything's possible. He's a dynamic playmaker. He'll run over your linebackers, stiff arm him, I don't care. And he'll throw right over the backers and right into the end zone. He has Stephon Diggs. Offensive line, isn't great, but they do their best for him, and they'll go to war for him. And I believe he's just going to have another solid season, probably like 4,000 passing yards, 35 plus touchdowns, and a bunch of rushing work. So Josh Allen sits nicely in the A tier. Tua, I'm going to have in a B. I do like Tua. I love his game. Really accurate passer in the mid to short range. He doesn't have the arm strength as these other quarterbacks, nor the mobility to, make these dazzling plays. But with the two playmakers that he has on offense, I believe he's due for a big season. He had 3,500 yards and about 25 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. So I believe that he's gonna, with a 17-game season under his belt, he's gonna do a lot better. 4K yards and upwards of 32 plus touchdowns. Definitely, he's in store for it, man. Everybody look out. I know everybody's like, hey, Tua doesn't belong here. Tua's this, Tua's that. Just you wait. Tua's gonna prove you all wrong. So I'm gonna have him right up there. I believe this is Will Levis. He eats mayonnaise out the jar. He's weird. Matthew Stafford, I'm gonna have it a B. I do enjoy Stafford. I believe he could be a B. Injury concern is my only concern with him. He had started last season with the elbow injury, and he dealt with it, and it lingered, and I believe he got a shoulder injury shortly after. So if he can stay healthy, I believe he'll be up in this B tier. As long as he has Cooper Kupp running them routes, I think he'll be just fine. The offensive line is dog doo, but they have weapons like Cam Akers and Cooper Kupp, so I believe they'll be fine. Look for a Puka Nacua breakout season here, ladies and gentlemen. Calling it right here, right now. Jimmy G. He's teetering, but I'm going to put him at a D. If he can't have like a 3,000 yard, 30 touchdown type season with the 49ers, what makes anybody think he's going to do it with the Raiders? He has his best wide receiver he's ever had in Davante Adams, sure, but the offensive line isn't as good. They're not going to hide his flaws as well. I think we're going to see Jimmy G become very human, and if he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But look for Jimmy G to kind of come down to earth as far as wins go. His win percentage is going to chop down. I am a Niners fan, but I am not a Jimmy G fan by any means of the sense, so I'm going to put him down at a D. I think he can prove me wrong, but do I think he will? No, I don't, and I'll stand by that. Mr. Big Trills. Sorry, I was looking at Lamar. Mr. Unlimited. We're going to have him at a C. Look forward to a bounce back year. Same thing like Stafford. He could be up here, but after his year of regression, I feel like it's very tough to put him up here in this category, where I'm going to put on a large set of quarterbacks. So I'm just going to put him in C. I feel like he could have a bounce back year and could be in B, just like Stafford, but I just have to see Russ play a lot better, man. It's not a good look when you go from like a 90 overall in Madden to a 77. I'm not saying that Madden ratings cover everything in a player, but watching Russell Wilson become human after being a Niners fan is kind of shocking, because I thought he was going to be the exact piece the Denver Broncos needed. But with Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy actually just got hurt, so just Cortland Sutton starting the year, and then losing out on a guy like Tim Patrick and Marvin Mims having to step up, and then the offensive line isn't too great. You're getting Javonte Williams back from a triple meniscus tear or whatever, and then you're getting Samaje Perine and just a bunch of like whatever weapons. I don't see how it could get much better for Russell Wilson. Maybe Sean Payton might just be God at coaching, but we're just going to put him at C and move on. Lamar Jackson, I have an A tier. Look forward to a Lamar resurgence. We believe in Mr. Big Truz. Nothing's going to take me away from him. I had him his MVP year for fantasy, and he was an absolute stud. Everybody's saying that he's a running back. Yeah, he's probably the most prolific rusher we've ever seen at the quarterback position. Yes, I know Fields is here. I don't care. And he's an underrated passer, man. He threw for around 38 touchdowns that MVP season, and he had like 3,000 plus yards throwing. So, hey man, he's become a better passer, and he has a bunch of weapons around him now. And Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Bateman healthy. His O-line's, to be seen, but J.K. Dobbins is back there, so look forward to it, man. They're going to have a really good year this year. I think they're going to be competing in a very tough North, but I think the Ravens can make it out as a wild card. So look at Lamar having MVP type caliber season this year. Kirk Cousins, he's throwing to the best wide receiver in the league. He's just kind of like a picture of consistency in the regular season. You know what he's going to get you. He's going to get you around like 3,500 yards and upwards of 28 touchdowns. The picks vary here and there, but I think Kirk Cousins is just going to give you solid production all around, especially in the regular season. He's got T.J. Hawkinson now. He's got Jordan Addison. The offensive line isn't too great, but doesn't matter when you have such stacked weapons. I think Kirk would do just fine. I'm not going to be glazing his chops or anything, but I think he could be pretty serviceable and bordering right outside that top 10 quarterback range. I'm going to put Brock Purdy at a C. I think if he stays healthy and he just delivers what, it's kind of skeptical because of that throwing arm. I think the Tommy John surgery really set me back on my image of Brock Purdy, and even in the preseason, he's just a bunch of short passes and dump offs. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can kind of throw it how he threw it when we were on our streak. But yeah, if he can stay healthy, he has all the best weapons around him in the league. I think the 49ers have the most stacked roster, so if he can just do his job, I think he's going to have a pretty solid season. Look forward to him having 2,500, 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns at most. Nothing crazy. Mac Jones. Never been a really big fan of Mac Jones, but the Patriots offense is pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Uninspiring. You don't look at any piece of this roster and go, oh my god, they got that guy. They have Juju Smith-Schuster. They have a dynamic, speedy threat in Tyquan Thornton, and they have Ramondre Stevenson, who just got handcuffed with Zeke Elliott because Ramondre can't handle the workload. So I guess that's to be seen. Mac Jones, I'm not really a big fan. I don't think he's the greatest athletically or doesn't have the greatest arm. I don't think he's the most accurate passer. He's just an alright quarterback, and I think he's going to have an alright season because his weapons around him aren't really awe-inspiring. So I have him here at D. Sam Howell, I believe he's primed for a breakout. The Washington defense is all back. They're all back. They're all healthy. Terry McLaurin just got hurt, but he's questionable for week 1, which at least he'll be back by week 2 or week 3. He has Jahan Dotson. He has a 1-2 punch in Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. I believe he's primed for a pretty solid season. I have Sam Howell pretty high on my mind, honestly. I'm not gonna say he's over the quarterbacks in C tier, but I think a lot of people have him down at this D tier. When I think this is me just putting a prediction out there that he's gonna have a really solid season and he's gonna make the Commanders look a lot better than they did in the past couple of years with their quarterback play. So I'm gonna have him here at the C. I think he could be a very solid quarterback in this league. So I'm excited to see what Sam Howell can do. How about that? And let's move on. Mr. Jalen Hurts, what a freaking stud this guy is. He 13 touchdowns on the ground. He threw for about 22, and He's just all over the place, threw for 3,700 yards. He has two of the best wide receivers in the league in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. It's a real 1A, 1B there. And I'm not surprised if he throws for even more. He's going to have 2 more healthy games. Hopefully he plays 2 more games this season and we can see what, an MVP type caliber year from Hurts. Just look forward to him having, another amazing season. He has the best offensive line in the league. He has maybe like a top 5 weaponry disposal at his, or his top 5 weaponry at his disposal. So nothing but love for Jalen Hurts, man. I'm going to have him here at this spot right here. Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr, man. I'm a big Derek Carr guy. Not a big Derek Carr guy, but bigger than most. I feel like, it looks really bad that I have these guys down here. So I'm going to put them here. Gotta put them here. They're on the lower end, though. Let's just keep that real. Derek Carr's right in this middle. Saints have always been like a solid team defensively. He's got a great O-line now. He's got one of the best wide receivers in the NFC. I wouldn't say top 10, but he's a budding superstar, man. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas coming back, and then he's got Alvin Kamara suspended for 3 games. I think Derek Carr is going to have a really solid career with the Saints now. I think they're probably going to win the NFC South, so look forward to that. Just wait on Derek Carr, man, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm always higher on him than most people, and that doesn't sound too great, but that's where I'm at with Derek Carr. I think he's a talented thrower. I think he has one of the best deep balls in the NFL right now, and Chris Olave is primed for a 1,400 yard season. Calling it right here. Let's move on to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, when healthy, he's in this B tier, but he's not healthy. I'm still gonna have him in this B tier. Dynamic athlete, great throw of the football. He's going to be throwing to weapons like Marquise Brown and Rondale Moore. He's going to have James Conner in that backfield. The offensive line isn't too awe-inspiring, but because he's hurt, the Cardinals are going to have some top-end picks. So look forward to, them making the roster a lot better because, he's hurt. The Cardinals shouldn't be this bad, but they are going to be because he's not playing. So I think looking forward into next year, the Cardinals are going to look a lot different. But I think with Kyler Murray under the helm, they're not finishing that bad in the NFL. But so I feel like I'm babbling on about Kyler Murray. Just really a talented quarterback. I just don't think he's getting I think he's getting just a tough break right now, being injured. Ryan Tannehill. Offensive line is probably worse in the league. They've really got nobody. They got Derrick Henry, and then they got Treylon Burks. And, God, can I name their wide receiver too? Is it Westbrook Akini? I forgot how you say his name. Whatever, dude. Yeah. I don't even know if I could put him here. I don't even know if he's going to have a solid season. Titans always figure it out. I always think they're going to be the worst team in the league. Or the worst team in the AFC South. And then they always just manage to just figure it out because Derrick Henry's there. Look for Ryan Tannehill to have a mediocre season and just be continuously carried by King Henry. Moving on. Dak Prescott. I'm going to put him in the B. He's at the top of the B. Is he at the top of the B? Okay, he's at the top of the B right now. I just think he's a really solid quarterback. He'll give you really good numbers. I don't know if they're gonna get any success with Dak, but that's not my judgment to be seen. He had a bunch of turnovers this season. If he can clean that up, he's gonna be a top. He just stays a top 10 quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. So. He has a top offensive line. He has CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup he's throwing to. And then he has Tony Pollard coming out the backfield. He's just going to have another amazing yardage season and upwards of 30 touchdowns and maybe like 10 plus interceptions. I don't know. I don't see the turnovers cleaning up. I don't think all of them were his fault, but the amount of times they pass, I just think he's bound to throw a couple. So I have him here just right ahead of Tua. Deshaun Watson. He's a scumbag, man, but he's a damn... You're a scumbag. Sorry. Deshaun Watson. We're going to put him here at B. Everything that went down, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now he's like 2 years removed, and it didn't look so hot. So if he's anything like he was playing before, he can move up this list. But if not, he can drop wherever. I don't know. But he has Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, who I really like, and then the offensive line is elite. He's got Nick Chubb, probably the best running back in football, and then he's got David Njoku. So look forward to him Don't look forward to him. I don't care. He's gonna have a great year probably if he is what he was. So there's that, and let's move on. Joey B. I'm just gonna slide him right at the end of Josh Allen right here. I love Joey B. I just think Josh Allen has that rushing upside that makes him an absolute dog. I'm not saying Joey B is any less than Josh Allen. I think these are a 2A, 2B type conversation right here. But if I had to have it, it'd be 2-3 just because of the rushing upside, and it's kind of got a cannon on him. So I slide him a little bit over Joey B. Joey B is probably the most accurate passer in the NFL right now, and he's got the best wide receiver core in the NFL. He's got Joe Mixon coming out the backfield, and he's got a pretty solid offensive line. So look forward to Joey B having maybe upwards of 5K yards this season, if healthy, because I knew there was the ankle injury concern at the start of preseason. So if he plays a full 17, he'll probably have upwards of 5K yards, and he'll probably have 40 plus touchdowns. He's a dog. Trey Lance, man. The news just broke earlier today, that Trey Lance actually had been traded to the Cowboys, and my heart breaks. I feel like I'm gonna make a video on that, so I'm gonna put him F. It sucks. I really wanted to see him shine with the Niners, but I'm rooting for you no matter what, man. To make me feel better about myself, I'm gonna slide you ahead of guys like this. And there's not much to say on Trey Lance. Good luck out in Dallas, and I hope your career goes great, man. I hope you slide in at number 2 spot and you get your opportunity somewhere, and I hope you shine. Justin Herbert, I'm gonna slide him here right at 4. I really like Justin Herbert. He's been nothing but amazing since he got into the league. Offensive Rookie of the Year, multiple Pro Bowls. The only thing that's holding him back is he's in the AFC West, and you know who's in the AFC West, so I think that's the tough part about it. His defense has not been kind to him in the last 3 years. I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense have been the highest scoring offense in the last 3 years since he was drafted, but his defense has let up more points than he's been able to score. I believe he's a generational talent like the guys you have up here. But I just think he's having a tough break of it. But with Kellen Moore, hopefully a Mike Williams healthy, Keenan Allen healthy, Quentin Johnson healthy, Austin Eckler healthy, and his offensive line back and healthy, I believe he's going to have 5K yards again and upwards of 40 touchdowns. I believe he could be in this range. I believe this could be interchangeable, but right now I think it's a pretty solid set list right here. So I'm going to have him here at 4. Absolutely love Justin Herbert. He has all the unteachables, but if they can just crank out a couple wins and make a playoff appearance and win a couple games in the playoffs, this is going to look a lot better than it's supposed to. Desmond Ridder, he has solid weapons around him, but I don't really believe in his talent too much, so I'm going to put him down at D. He's just a guy, man. I don't really know what to say. I didn't really ever focus too much on his game, but when I saw him playing with the Falcons, it wasn't too awe-inspiring. I don't think he was super great athletically, nor did he have like a great arm or pinpoint accuracy. So I'm just gonna put him over at D. I think the Falcons have a great rushing attack, and that's good for the Bijan, Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, triple-headed monster. But as far as his weapons, you got guys like Drake London. I believe Brian Edwards is still on that team, and then Kyle Pitts, rest in peace. He's still alive, but he's just not too relevant, so I'm sad about it. Moving on, Jared Goff. I love Ryan Gosling, man. I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Gosling, man. He had like no picks towards the later half of the season. Goff and the Lions have one of the most, I wouldn't say electric offenses, but high powered. Offensive line is elite. Running game, they got Jahmyr Gibbs. They have David Montgomery now. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have Jameson Williams. They lost out on T.J. Hawkinson, but they ended up picking up Sam Laporta. I believe the Lions could pick up right where they left off, and they could have a very solid season. And Jared Goff could take them to the playoffs and crank out a win, or yeah, I'm not too sure how far he'll take them, but Jared Goff is a very solid quarterback, man. Pretty great accuracy, solid arm, not too inspiring athletically, but he's a great quarterback, and Lions are very fortunate to have him had stepped up into Matthew Stafford's place, because there's not a lot of quarterbacks that could have went to that team and kind of recovered so easily. So good luck to Jared Goff and the Lions this season. And here I'm going to slide in Aaron Rodgers at the top of the B slot. I believe that's where we'll end the B slot. I don't think he's going to have MVP caliber season. He looked very human this last season with the Packers. Maybe it was a lack of weapons. But his offensive line was great. He still had Aaron Jones. He still had A.J. Dillon. He had Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. I just didn't think he looked too Aaron Rodgers-like. But the offensive line isn't very inspiring out in New York. And the weapons are a lot better with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall coming out the backfield, and then they just picked up Dalvin Cook, and who else did they have at wideout? He brought over Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, and then they signed McCole Hardman. So I think he's just right out of that MVP level. I don't think any of these guys are gonna win MVP in this B level tier. So that's kind of where I have them there, but they're solid enough, and they're gonna probably get their team in playoff chances. Them willingly. So I'm going to have them there. Kenny Pickett looked real solid this preseason. I think him and Sam Howell are going to have kind of similar seasons. They have similar weapons. They're primed for pretty big breakouts. I enjoyed both of their games fairly similarly. So it's a race in my head, but I think I'll get the edge to Sam Howell here, even though I'm not ranking this in any sort of way. The Steelers are going to find a way to go at least even, and I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they slide in as like the third seed in the AFC North. Good luck to them, and good luck to Kenny Pickett, man. I do hope he has a great career, but he's got weapons like Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, so he should have a solid season out there in Pittsburgh. And yeah, moving on, we just have Mahomes. He's in a tier in his alone. There's no guy touching him right now. There was conversation a while back about him and Josh Allen, but that's all fitter fodder. Let's move on. Okay, right. So here's how we're gonna do this. Guys who had down seasons, we're gonna move here, because I forgot Gino was a guy, right? These guys shouldn't be here, but they're gonna be here due to injury and just lack of elite play. I guess I should also put Deshaun Watson at the head of this tier. And I'll put Derek Carr here. But then it looks crazy. You know what? I'm not even butthurt. This is my list. Okay. Sorry. And Geno Smith, B. an elite wide receiver room, solid offensive line. I love the way they played. They have Kenneth Walker in the backfield. This offense is going to be real stout. They're scary coming out of the NFC West. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, Geno, man, we wrote him off and he ain't right back, so we're going to have him slide up at the B. I think he's going to have another great, solid season. I don't think he's going to be super awe-inspiring, but I think he's going to have a very solid season ahead of him. And look forward to Geno just dying up NFL defenses like it's 2014. Justin Fields, man. I think he might take a leap. So I'm going to put him here. You know what he is as a rusher. That's why he's also up here. But he's gotten a weapon like DJ Moore, and a lot of people sleep on DJ Moore, but I'm pretty high on DJ Moore myself. It could be a lesser version of the AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts thing we just saw this past year. So that's what I'm banking on. I think the Bears aren't going to be super great, but I feel like Justin Fields is going to have himself a pretty good season. So I'm excited to see where he is at the end of the season. But I'm going to put him at the end of this. This is more of like just throwing myself out there rather than, this is firm, I'm kind of just throwing eggs at the wall and hoping one sticks. So Justin Fields, I'm going to have him ranked a lot higher than he is right now, but I'm projecting, man. I'm projecting. Jacoby Brissett is a very solid starter. I'm not too sure why he's on this picture. Who is he playing for? I want to put him in C because with the Browns, he was real good. He wasn't good with the Dolphins though. I remember that. Was pissed off. Okay, so he's with the Commanders. He's the backup, so I'm gonna put him in D. He's a very, very good backup. I believe he could play some games and do pretty all right with them. So I'm gonna put him in D and move on. Not much to talk about. Anthony Richardson. I think this is an investment, man. I think the Colts have got them one. He's an absolute freak of nature, and in a couple of years when they get some solid weaponry around him. Maybe they might get Marvin Harrison Jr. Who knows? What a storyline that would be. Maybe we see another Cam Newton-esque quarterback. I love Anthony Richardson. I think he could be an elite talent if developed correctly. And the coach just have to give him the reps, man. Like Trey Lance never got. Love you, guy. Give him the reps. I'm glad they're giving him the reins week 1. They're just gonna let him rip, and he's gonna figure it out. I think he's very smart, and I believe what we saw from him in Florida was kind of just like skewed a little bit. So I think that he could have a very solid career here in the NFL, but I do think there's going to be trials and tribulations in the National Football League for him this year. Look forward to him having sort of a tough rookie year. I don't think the Colts are going to be doing too hot, but that's kind of where I have that. And then the Prince himself, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, I have him at 7. So if I'm ranking the quarterbacks today, maybe 2 weeks out from the start of the season, I've got Tua Tagovailoa at 10, Dak Prescott at 9, Aaron Rodgers at 8, Trevor Lawrence at 7, Lamar Jackson at 6, Jalen Hurts at 5, Justin Herbert at 4, Joe Burrow at 3, Josh Allen at 2, and Patrick Mahomes at 1. Yeah, this is the list. Mahomes, MVP caliber, elite production. These are kind of tangled together. I think these all guys could all win MVP. And elite production and solid starters are kind of mixed together. I think some of these guys could move up. They're all going to give you like 3,500 plus yards, 25 plus touchdowns, and however picks they may throw. Tough year. They're not very good right now, or they're just not very good in general, or the team isn't good. And there's the backups. I think this is going to age pretty well. I guess we'll see at the end of this. I guess we'll see at the end of the season how this kind of pans out. And I'll come back to it if it ages poorly or ages well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and you guys have a great rest of your night. Peace out.